Good morning, everyone. It's IFBB Bikini Pro, and today we're talking about the One Bro Pro show that's happening today, tomorrow. I don't know. I'm late on it because you guys hear me out. It's been a very busy week because I got back into tie-dyeing, and check out some of my new creations. I made these pants. I wanted one leg to be blue and one leg to be orange, but that's not always how ice dyeing works out. So they're mainly orange with some hints of blue, and they turn out pretty. I have my favorite ones that I'll show you in a sec, but this is what they look like from, that's the side. So I tied it on the side. Okay, so that's one. And then these are my favorite ones that I made. And these, I took the waist-in on. I mean, you can tell, but that's okay. So this is what they look like from the side. Imagine that. Here they are. I'm very happy with them. And we're not using the microphone again today because the microphone wasn't working and I don't know how to fix it. Okay, these are the last ones. These are mainly red and pink. I mean, you can tell. Unless you're colorblind, in which case it will be difficult. Here we go. This is the bag. So that's it. Okay. So everyone, let's talk about the show. Okay, and Temptation Island also came out this week, and that is my favorite reality TV show. So, next to Big Brother. Okay, so let's talk about this show. I think I pulled everyone up. Yeah, okay, so there have been times that I don't pull someone up and then I deeply regret it. So, okay, let's talk about this. The first person we're going to talk about is Alice Marquezio. I am a stan. I love Alice. I love her look. So she got close to getting in the top 15 at the Olympia last year. She was like probably one spot away. She was probably solidly in 16th place. And if I pull up the scorecard, it might even say that. Because she was like so close to getting in that spot. Like she was in that third call out. Okay. So we're going to go back another page. Right? How do we do that? Oh, let's just do this. Okay. 2026 Olympia scorecard. IFBB. Okay. Let's see. So qualification rules, Friday scorecards. I mean, we want this Saturday. Okay, well, now we're back where we were. Oh, here we go. My big picture was covering it. Okay, Olympia, which was in October. So we go over here. And then might be faster if we just do it like this. Okay. So it's on a different page. Okay. Here we go. Okay, let's look at Bikini. Okay, so... Oh, no, Ji-Bin. She was the one. Okay. You know what? I don't remember that being the case. So, everyone after 79 points was just scored 80. So, Victoria got 75 points, and then Ji-Bin got 79. So, yeah, and then everyone else got 80. So, that is... I guess I didn't know that because that's a very interesting. That means that I should definitely be keeping this in mind during the later predictions. I mean, it's not very surprising. She got 4th at the Pittsburgh show last year, I'm pretty sure. We won't go into all that. Yeah, we will. Okay. IFBB NPC Pit Power Fest 2025. Did she get 4th? Let's see. Okay, is it... Okay, here's what we'll do. Okay, we go to Jennifer, and then we go to Olympia, and then we go to 2025, and then we go to Ji-Bin here, and then we see, 12th, 5th at New York. Okay, so yeah, anyway, that's not what we're focusing on here. We're focusing on the show that's happening. So Alice was close. Alice was very close to being in that top 15. And most recently, she's competed at the Arnold Classic UK and got 5th place. So let's pull up Alice and we'll talk about what I think Alice could improve upon. The first thing I would say is the suit. I just think that the suit isn't sparkly enough. It just looks more like polka dots than it does stones. So I would like to see a better suit. But yeah, and the color I'm not obsessed with. It blends into the tan a lot. I mean, there's a lot of saturation in these photos. So that is like another thing that makes it look like so close to her skin tone, but it just doesn't like quite pop. It's pretty. It's definitely pretty. But I think that the blue she's done before is a better choice. So when did she last do blue? Yeah, okay, she was wearing red for a lot of last year. Yeah, I mean, blue pops more, but it's the actual stoning that's an issue. So like if I were her, I would love to see, I mean, let's look at something that someone else was wearing at, like Phoebe's color. That would be really, really cool on Alice. I would be very into that. So let's look at what Phoebe was wearing. So if Alice wore this color, that would be a really cool look. So I don't know. I would like to see something like that. If she wants to be a little more sultry, like with this red, then she could just do a bright red like we see on Brittany Gillespie has done a bright red that I was a big fan of. So we'll go to the Olympia. And then let's look at 2025 Olympia because Brittany, I think, wore the bright red there. Oh, no, she wore green. Oh, green also, Alice. I think Alice has worn green like that before. And I like that for her. Okay, that's too dark. Too dark. She wore it at the 2024 Olympia, I think. Yeah, more like this. So if she, I mean, it's still not quite there. Okay, I know this is like not even the point, but we're going with this. Okay, so like Allie's suit. Allie Vathauer's suit is more like what I would want to see on Alice if she does a red. Okay, so yeah, so some other people we have are, okay, Zophia's suit. That's it. I'm gonna have to cough. Okay, and then let's just look at these people we have before I like start making my opinions. Okay, so yeah, Alice. Who do I think is gonna win? I think it's a likely Alice. So what could Alice work on? I think the hair and the suit are very pretty. Maybe the hair there could be more of, but I would rather just the hair be like, I think she could just brush through the curls. I don't think it's necessary to have like a ton more hair, even though she could. But the hair and the glam I think are good. Suit we already talked about. The tan looks much better here. A lot of her shows, she ends up having too light of a tan in my opinion, like the Vancouver show we just saw some pictures of. And then what do I think Alice needs the most? I think her waist could have been tighter here for sure. And I would like to see, and this is something I've said about Alice for a while, even though she's really good, one of my faves, and she's very balanced, I think she could have more extreme proportions. That's what I would love. So like more glue, waist could be tighter, and more hamstring specifically for her back pose. Her front pose, the hamstring looks really good. The back pose, I would like to see a little bit more pop. She just looks kind of flat here, and part of that could also be the fact that she doesn't have very much glaze going on. Like maybe more glaze would make her look poppier, but either way, she needs more glute specifically for the front pose. The back pose too, but at least she has like this nice roundness and like a firmness look to the glute. Like it looks like it's all muscle. And it doesn't seem to like flatten much. Like some people you'll see that cut between the glute max and the glute med because like the muscle is full but looks kind of squishy. I don't know if that's even important to say here. All I'm trying to say is that I would like to see more overall density to the glutes. Upper body looks really good in the back pose. Front pose, she could have a little more shoulder. So yeah, for her, I think it's just like making the proportions more staggering. That's what I would like to see. Everything else is really good. Great stage presence. Big Alice fan. And we'll leave her pictures up because I might compare against like, you know, some other people. So that's Alice. And then we have Sophia. So she placed just above Alice. And I believe it just set a perfect score all the way down. So I don't know how close it was, but I think it was closer than the scorecards stated. And Tyler did just put his recap out on the UK show. So you can go look at that. I think his Instagram is T_mania, but it's also on like NPC News YouTube channel. So Alice and Zofia have pretty similar glute shape and development. So what do I think between Alice and Zofia? So first of all, Zofia, she's very developed in the upper body. This looks really good. And Tyler said not to put on any more size here. I think the suit could fit better. Like, I don't love when the bottom of the suit, like the bottom of the cups, comes up off the skin. I would like it to just be flush to the skin. And the shape also kind of cuts her weird. So I'd like to see more roundness to the side of that, top. But yeah, so I would say different suit as well for her. And the upper body the conditioning is spot on for Bikini, but the upper body just does not match the lower body in terms of muscularity. However, her waist is super tight. So could she edge out Alice again? Yeah, because she has more extreme proportions, but I don't think she's as balanced as Alice. I would also like to see a little bend in the knee, which I talked about in my last video with her. So you can just look at the UK video and I do a comparison of what I'm thinking. Because this hyperextension is just a little bit distracting. So, and I think it would round her upper glute better if she had like a little bend just to straighten it so it's not hyperextended. And yeah, I mean, this I just find pretty distracting. The lack of development in her lower body, especially like how the glute dips here and the lack of development we see in the legs. Is the development in the legs here kind of similar to Alice? Yeah, like this back leg, we don't see much detail in either of them. We do see a little bit more on Zofia, but I just want more overall development to the lower body. It's just a pretty obvious imbalance. So yeah, but the hair and makeup I think are great. And then we have her back pose. And I think they'll be pretty close in placings to each other again. So that's why I'm going to put them next to each other. Upper body looks great. She could straighten her arms a little bit. And just needs like more size and density and projection to the glutes. And definitely more hamstrings. So they have similar faults here. But I would have Alice edging out Zofia. Because Alice is balanced top to bottom, front to back, and Zofia has a pretty distinct imbalance from top to bottom. I also think a different suit cut could round her glutes better. So even though Alice has like a very tiny cut on, it rounds her glutes more than Zofia's does. And she's standing up taller, so maybe that's why we don't see like this low back situation. But actually, it's because her suit bottoms are in the right place. But Zofia is arched a lot, and her suit bottoms are coming up like this, and they're coming up off her skin. So she needs to pull the suit bottoms down in the back to give more roundness. And yeah, I mean, we just really are missing a lot of hamstring there. And let's see, what was I going to see? I'm going to see how her suit bottoms are in the front. I mean, they're pretty low, so she can pull them up in the front, down in the back. Okay, so that's Zofia. And then I'm going to let's go to Anna Setlak next. So Anna has been to the Olympia multiple times, and so have the other people. Let's look at Anna's last Olympia look. So Anna has a very impressive physique, like very impressive. My consistent gripes with her look are that her glutes are much more developed than her legs. So she needs to bring her legs up to match her glutes, and she probably needs to downsize her glutes a little bit. Like, they're just extreme. They do match her shoulders really well, but it's the fact that, like, when your glutes are that big, they can just make your legs look skinny, and on top of that, she doesn't have that much hamstring development in her front pose, seemingly. So those are usually my main things. Plus, she typically chooses these suit colors with her almost, like, blackened, base color, so it just doesn't really pop on her because her tan gets really dark and then her hair is like really, really bright, so it just reads as kind of harsh. So I would just like to soften everything, so like bring some more warmth to the hair color. And Jordan Brannon is a great example of that. So let's look at Jordan at the 2021 Olympia. Was that her first Olympia? Okay, no, so 2022. That was my second guess. Okay, so Jordan Brannon, her first Olympia, her hair, actually, I think I liked her hair here in 2023. I didn't love it as much. So even this would be an improvement for Anna. it has like a certain ashiness to it that I think is flattering. So that would be good. But one year her hair was like so bright that it was just, it just like reflects the light it like absorbs the light and then reflects off. It's just too much. So like this was not it for me. And I think she'd agree because she darkened it later on. So it just looks kind of harsh, and Anna's is doing the same thing. And then when Jordan's had a great hair evolution. Then when Jordan, was it 2024? I liked it a lot. Yeah, 2024, really, really pretty. Maybe a little bit too grayish in the brown, but still very pretty and much better than the year before. Actually, yeah, no, I really do like this. And then let's see what it looked like at 2025. Yeah, this is beautiful. This is some of my favorite I've seen her hair look. So yeah, I would do something like with more depth and dimension to it rather than this like stark blonde color. I think that would help just soften her overall presence. And I think she needs her overall presence to be a little bit softened because it's a lot happening. And the makeup is like this berry color. It's just like a lot in like a baby pink lip. It's just not cohesive. And she could have a great look. It's just these very easy things with her presentation that can be changed. Suit color, hair, makeup. That's easy. Like not difficult to achieve. That's what easy means. But as far as the physique, I think she just brought her hamstrings up a little bit. Then that would really complete her physique because we're just missing it. It's better at the Olympia here, but not like the best. And in the back pose, I'd like to see that too. I almost wonder if she's flexing her glutes too. That's just a shadow. I don't know. It almost seems like she's flexing them. So I would probably, and she's very straight up and down competitor. So you have to kind of play with stuff like this, and just see what you can build to like balance your shape more to get more hourglass. So yeah, and she's done that before. Like I think this is her best front pose, but there were times where she tried to lean forward a little bit to get more dynamic of a shape. But yeah, I think this waist is excellent. Like this is all really good. I would like her to be maybe a touch fuller in this front pose, but then we'll probably blow her glutes and shoulders out so much in the back pose that it's a problem. So yeah, that's what I think. But she always does really well. Like she's consistently top 5, if not winning, because she obviously goes to the Olympia. Okay, and then we're going to talk about Carrie. Okay, so Carrie, I talked about Carrie at UK. I think this was her best look yet. And she also was someone who did like those like really dark base colors to her suits. And since she has a very hard physique, she needs to like soften a little bit. So the pink was a great choice. That was like the happiest I've ever been with Carrie's stage look. So let's look at this again. So I think Carrie and Anna will compare well to each other because they have those similar flaws going on, if you, I don't know how else to say that. I'd maybe run a brush through the hair. The curls are a little bit tight, but I do think that it's a good move to have like this volume to the hair because it kind of downsizes the physique slightly. Front pose, I think this looks really good. She just has her like issue in Bikini is just that she has a thicker waist, so it's hard to be compared to these other people who have like Zofia waists where your waist just looks like this. Like that's tough. That's very tough. So I think it might be tough for Carrie to win, but Carrie looks great. Her imbalance to me is that her lower body is a lot more developed than like her arms. Not that she needs super jacked arms, but her arms look kind of skinny to me. Shoulders look really good, arms look skinny, and that just doesn't really balance with the rest of her physique. And it's very apparent in the front pose and in the back pose. So that is what I'm thinking there. Glutes are great, a little tight in the hamstrings. Anna was also tight in the hamstrings, I was thinking, but didn't say out loud. So fill out the hamstrings, just be overall fuller, but it's tough when you have a thicker waist because then if you get fuller, it could blow that out. So yeah, but I mean, this is like the best Carrie. Carrie looks great here. Like that's not to take anything away from Carrie. She looks great. This is the best she ever looked. It's just like when genetics come into play, some people are just better. Okay. Then we have, let's talk about my win. So my win, she was a standout to me at the San Diego show, which I just talked about. And someone in the comments was saying the same thing. So yeah, my win was really catching our eyes. Now let's talk a little bit more in depth about her, since she, I think, could do really, really well at this show. Okay, let's go to the back pose. So she's more in line with like the Zophias and Alice's of this show. So let's look. So waist is super tight, like projection of the glute in the front pose really good. The legs look balanced. The calves are a little bit underdeveloped, but Sandy has personally said, and she was judging the show, that if she makes it past your knees, then there's a problem. But yeah, that is a pretty big imbalance for me. That's distracting, but not like so distracting that she wouldn't catch my eye. So that's just like when I'm looking at her straight on, like in a vacuum, I would think, oh, definitely needs more calves, but everything else is so good that, you know, who cares? Hair, I think could be a little more polished, just like run a brush through it. Makeup, I think could be a little more glam, but this looks really, really good. I love the suit color. It could be tied tighter up here because I think it feels like her chest is just kind of dragging down. But actually what it could be is more coverage in the suit top, I think would be really, really good. So some things I would do to the pose. The lower body, I think, is spot on in the front pose. The upper body, she's kind of tight in the shoulders, so this arm is coming up. So I would just relax the shoulders, let them come straight across, and then straighten this arm and kind of have it tucked almost behind the glute. Not actually, but like instead of being like here, having it like here, close to the frame. So that's what I would do there, and that would give her way better shape. And she could relax this arm a little bit, so this looks pretty tight in her shoulders, and she's pretty vascular, so she could definitely be fuller, I would say. Lower body looks good in fullness, but upper body looks a little bit tight, and it could be because she's like posing so tense. So drop the hand to the connector, not on the smallest part of her waist, which is where it is, so drop it to like right here. Relax the shoulder and relax this elbow a little bit, like don't let it come around so much, and then I think that'd be a much better front pose. And then her back pose, I think we need more coverage to this suit bottom because her glutes aren't developed enough to pull off this tiny of a suit bottom. I want it to round her glutes more. It's just going like a U shape on the glutes, so I don't love that. And yeah, so more coverage, long term, more development to the glutes, but short term, I think she could be fuller in this back pose too. So I would just fill out more. The waist is super tight, so I'm not too worried about that. Hamstrings are pretty balanced. Yeah, I think she's arching too much and she's pinching her shoulder blades. So I would stand up a little bit taller, relax her shoulders so they come across like wide. Straighten her arms a little bit so we get that taper from the lats into the waist. And that's what I would do. Just relax everything to look like you're just standing there. Okay, I shouldn't have X'd that out, but whatever. Let's see when she went pro. Okay. Oh, at Vibo. Oh, okay, amazing. Yeah, she just went pro. Great for her. Great for her. Okay. And then, oh no, sorry, not at Vibo. Yeah, Big Evolution. Okay. Okay. Yeah, she's put on great size since then, so good for her. And this fullness is better. So, yeah. If she bring that fullness, that would be great. And then someone else who I was thinking could do well at this show is Margarita. So let's look at her poses. So I think her front pose was more like on. Oh, I must admit. Okay, well, here it is. So here's Margarita. Tan is a little bit too dark, but I mean, takes the tan well. The green suit is good. She's arching a little bit too much in this upper back, so I would just stand taller and not like arch so much that we're minimizing all this space between the lat and the glute here. So just stand taller, and it kind of is causing her stomach to bulge out a little bit. I would hold the hand more like this and less like this. So just stand taller. That's probably the main thing here. Let the knee drift at me. She's a little bit tight. That's one thing. And then, oh, okay, wait. This actually looked better. she was standing a little taller here. This is better, but she's kind of letting this shoulder, having the opposite problem, slope down. So just open up and relax a little bit more is what I would do. And then her back pose, let's see. When does the back pose start and when does it end? Okay, here's the back pose. So she's arching a little bit too much and she's getting that like U shape in the bottoms. It's really popping her hamstrings and flattening her glutes. So just stand taller so we don't get such a short torso and then all this leg. And she's a little bit too tight. Also could use some calves. I think she and my win will be close to each other. So if I had to guess, I would say I wouldn't be surprised if Zofia takes this over Alice. So, let's see. Okay. So, I'm going to say... Okay. I'm going to say... I feel like it'll be Zofia, but I'm going to say Alice, then Zofia. And then I could see... It's tough because if we're going off of, like, the proper conditioning and everything, then I think Anna and Carrie would be towards... I don't know. Okay, who's got better... Who's more complete all around? Carrie, my win... I mean, my win fits in better with these top two than Carrie does. But it doesn't always go like that, you know? Like, it could be those two, then Carrie, even though Carrie is, like, much different than them. And then my win. I'll say my win. I'm not confident in that. And then I'll say Carrie, Anna. And then I could see Margarita doing better, but I don't know. We'll see. So, that's my guess. Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.